Hello, fellow seekers. I would like to talk about Aleister Crowley today, and I want to talk beyond his lifestyle, which was debaucherous. We all know that. I want to talk about his actual occult knowledge and occult practice, which we really don't talk about. The reason he has the notoriety that he does have is because I think of his lifestyle, which he was just rebelling against society at the time. So you have to consider that too. But what he did in the occult world was actually phenomenal. He was not a Satanist by any means. I studied Satanism when I first started getting into this, and to me, no, he was not a Satanist. He was a ceremonial magician, and if you understand ceremonial magic, you understand before you invoke your dark forces, you're going to invoke your light forces, because you're bringing these together in unity. That's the whole purpose of the operation. There's many other people in the occult past that are rarely mentioned, which I think is quite sad and shameful. I'll give you a little tidbit of a list. Gerald Gardner, I think it was called the Father of Wicca. He did some great, outstanding things. Not a lot is mentioned about him other than the books he wrote. Arthur Edward Waite, which actually belonged to the Order of the Golden Dawn during the same time as Crowley did, but not a lot is mentioned about this man other than the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, which he's probably most famous for, but he was a great occultist and a superb writer. Eliphas Levi, beyond Baphomet, nobody really knows who this man is. John D. Edward Kelly, you probably know from the Scrying and Enochian magic. Madame Blavatsky, which a lot of people have tried to debunk, but I think she did great works and I respect her thoroughly. And we don't talk about these people because they just didn't have the notoriety that Aleister Crowley did because of his lifestyle. And I think it's a shame. When you just center your focus on somebody's lifestyle and that's how they gain all this notoriety and fame, when you're talking about the occult world, you're kind of leaving that huge part out of it. So that's my half cent on Crowley. I applaud Crowley for what he did. He was an awesome magician. I'm sure we probably wouldn't have gotten along if we were, alive in the same time frame. His ego was huge. His writing was well, but his ego was huge, and I really can't tolerate people with huge egos, but that's my thing. But what he did was great, and that's why we talk about it, and that's why there's documentaries about it, and that's why there's movies about it. And these other people did awesome things too, and we don't really talk about them that much. And I think that's kind of sad. If you're a cultist nowadays, if we're not talking about this and not sharing our knowledge, I think that's detrimental to the whole point. No one's burning us at the stake anymore. You're not going to go to prison for practicing witchcraft or the occult. And religion's saying the occult is bad and nefarious and hellish and demonic is also, again, bullshit, because if you want to dig into this research, there's many religious people that have practiced the occult. I can go down the list if you want. You can start with King Solomon in the Bible with the 72 demons to build the first temple in Jerusalem. The Carmelite friars, which summoned demons to find hidden treasure. There was a pope that actually wrote a grimoire. The list goes on and on. If you're serious about the occult and you want to get into this research, it's out there. It's easy to find. It's all true. It's all proven. It's all documented. So to have this fear, this ridiculous fear to talk about it doesn't make sense to me. At least from a standpoint of an occultist, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think we need to talk about it and learn from each other and, share. We need to share. There's a history of not sharing this stuff, and I think that's, as I said, detrimental to the point. If you're going to learn this stuff, like I've been doing this for 2 decades now, if you're going to learn this and you're not sharing it, what's the point of learning it? I don't belong to a secret society. I'm not Illuminati. I'm not a Freemason. I don't belong to the Order of the Golden Dawn or any other order like the OTO or any of that stuff, dude. So, yeah, I got no problem sharing. And I don't understand why these other people do have a problem sharing this stuff. But yeah, that's my occultist perspective of Aleister Crowley. So, if you want to say he was a horrible person because of the way he lived, that's fine. Some people live outrageous lives. I mean, in any genre. I mean, if you're an artist, most artists are really weird. Most writers are really weird. Actors and actresses usually kind of weird. There you go. I mean, but what he did in the occult world pretty much hasn't been topped. I mean, there was other great people, but he's the only one I know that ever tried to do the Abramelin operation, and that's an extensive 18th month ritual that takes superior dedication. And I haven't come across anybody that's ever said they've tried it in the history or the research I've done. And I've done extensive research on the Abramelin operation. I find it fascinating. But, all right, do good works, people. Peaceful travels. I'll see you next time. And we'll talk about something else, something fascinating. All right. Good day.